I gotta try something. Bye.
No, go outside, go outside.
In a minute. Is this the same guy? That's him. Sorry, you're fine. I've got the scoop on Misko's treasure, and it's great. Listen up, Dak. Crescent, hold, hang on. Hey, buddy, what's your problem? You're not being incredibly rude and listening to our conversation, are you? We're treasure hunters on the trail of our latest score. The treasure of the great bandit Misko. It's as good as ours. Crescent, you're gonna give it all away. Sorry, Dak, you got carried away. We're busy here, too. You're doing something. Take it up with someone else.
Oh, it's a kid.
Spotted horse, 2 spotted horses. 1 color horsey, 2 1-color horsey. Now we'll spend the night on it. Alright, so the first thing I need is very simple. Fine.
He's trying to give you directions. So.
It's like a quest thing. It's because you never asked about the other thing. Oh wait, no, maybe not. Fine. You don't believe me? Let's go, pal. You and me right here, right now. You want to challenge the second place Hyrule horse taming competition winner to
He
a
wants
team
you
off?
to train a horse.
I thought he was going to give us directions to the Hateno town. You know what? Sure. You must bring a wild horse back to the spot within the time limit. I reckon there's 2 minutes. What?
Go.
Ah! I've never even done this. You're the one that's done all the horse stuff. Oh my god.
Is it one to your left? Oh, it's a rock.
Brought back a horse. That's a rock. There's a horse.
Just gotta sneak up behind it and then hit it.
Ow! God! Dirtbag? Dirtbag horse?
You just gotta get him back.
Wants me to know about that shrine that we can just let sit there. Amazing! But I can't believe you beat my 2-minute record so easily. I mean, I won second place in the Hyrule horse taming competition, to be fair, just by really not competing. Anyway, here's the purse for winning the second official Hyrule horse taming competition we win.
Wow. Violet glow. Those are perfect gems.
Guess there's more competition out there than I knew about. Maybe Hyrule isn't bad after all.
Good job.
Anyway, this isn't my horse. More than that.
I know this may seem a little random, but you got a hammer? It would be helpful if you don't have one if you're gonna collect ore. Some people use explosives
Welcome back, everyone, to the Great Ace Attorney live streams. I've kind of jumped the gun a little bit and jumped right back into it. You didn't really miss anything. I am still a little sick, though. I'm feeling better than I did last week when I had to cancel the stream. I'm very sorry about that. So, I'm going to give it another try. If I have to call it early, I just kind of have to call it early. I'm sure I've mentioned this to you before, but I've been here in Great Britain for a year now, and in that time, I've learned that it's no place for me. So far, I'm really not liking the second Great Ace Attorney, mostly because, like, all of the things that, like, it's never my logic that's been wrong. It's always been, oh no, you're not presenting it correctly, that I haven't really been liking. Or, oh, you have to examine this one piece of evidence a little bit closer before you can present it as evidence and have it count. But I'm going to continue to give the game a shot. I'm going to keep going with the game. Hopefully it'll win me over. It can be very trying to live in a foreign land and adapt to the ways of another culture. There are foreigners everywhere I look, and they all stare at me. They all laugh. That's the impression I get whenever I go out. It makes me scared to leave my room, which is why I've become a recluse. But even in my room, I find no respite from my fears. I've moved more times than I can remember, and then, 1 week ago, I moved into Briar Road. But why? I mean, why did you choose that place? It doesn't seem very comfortable. Because the rent is cheap. I have so little money. It spoke to me. The rent? Obviously, there's a reason why it's cheap. Because the room is cursed. I feel we've had this conversation before. The previous occupant, the man who lived there before I took the room, died there. Oh no! Susanna, why are you surprised? This is stuff we learned in the first game, and like, I understand, I understand not everyone plays the first game, but why are we acting surprised? Can't we just be like, oh yeah, like, I mean, shouldn't the characters be like, yeah, we know this already? He was only a young man, but one morning he was found dead and no one could explain why. Surely no one would want to live in a room with a history like that. I didn't. When the letting agent recommended the place, I wavered. But I want books, and books cost money. A horrible history is a small price to pay. I feel like this isn't even. I feel like this is just the last part this was said. When I realized it would mean I could buy more books, I signed the lease like lightning. Brave or blinkered? Like word for word, I feel like this is the same thing. I realized how horrible that room's history really was. Gosh, was it really so awful? Horrible history. How did the room's horrible history affect you, Mr. Natsume? What happened? At first, it was just a feeling. The feeling of beady eyes boring into my back, watching me. Do you think that might have just been your mind playing tricks on you? No. My mind doesn't know any tricks. It was someone else. It's only been long. It's been one long nightmare ever since I was given the keys to the place. A nightmare? You've been having bad dreams, you mean? All the souls who died in that room lean over me in my sleep. I try to strangle me! Again, I feel like I've heard this within the last month. And now I come to think of it, it happened again last night too. The very same night that Shamspear was writhing in agony from the poison in his body. I was on the verge of being suffocated silently by those miserable spirits in my room. You simply must move out of that room as soon as possible. Yes, you're right, I know it, and that's why I'm already searching for the next room with a history to call my own. Go home, my bad. I think perhaps you should try avoiding... Again, word for word, I feel like I've had this same conversation within the past, like 2 weeks ago in the last stream. It doesn't help that it started in the jail with 2 of the things already crossed off. Of course, Lord of the Manor is worried about the curse on my room as well. You mean Mr. Garradib? Yes, he knows that if people keep dying there... Yeah, see... I can't shake this feeling of deja vu. Is it just repeating the same shit again? Also, I'm not talking as much because it's starting to do a number on my voice, and I'm already sick. Well, getting over a sickness. Is it possible that, like... Okay, you know what? I think I know what happened. I placed a save right here in case I needed to present something, and I lost a point or something. And I forgot to save over it, and then I closed the game. That must be what happened. Can I speed through this? Yeah, okay, that's what happened. Not here. Here. "22nd of February, 9:23 a.m. The Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber." The Old Bailey. This place always makes me feel strange. It seems to get chills down my spine and break out in a nervous sweat all at the same time. Well, I didn't think I'd be back here so soon. Ah, good morning, Mr. Natsume. Yeah, somehow managed to prove he didn't stab Miss Green in the back. I'm beginning to think he's right. It really does seem as though he's cursed. You've done nothing wrong, Mr. Sato. Now what is it? Barrack Van Zeeks? Don't you mean Baron? You know what? Maybe it is Barrack Van Zeeks, because now that I think about it, every time I see his name, it's always Lord. So. The defense is ready, my lord. Yet now he's back in the courtroom, though for some reason, only when I'm defending. This Reaper, with his curious disdain for us Japanese, is a prosecutor shrouded in mystery. Still, this isn't the time to be pondering that. I have to concentrate on Soseki-san's trial. Is it the same jurors from Soseki-san's trial last time? No, we do have a new one, I can see. Yeah, I can't believe this was never brought up in the first game. Wait! Where was that puddle this whole time? I don't remember that being there. Alright. Okay, so I can't actually examine anything. I'm gonna check this. Hi, Adam. Huh? Okay, I would like to point something out. I'm not sure if I figured this out last time. He's saying he poisoned him, and that it was Soseki who poisoned the tea. How does he know that? If he drank the tea, then surely... I mean, if he drank the tea, then surely he must have thought, oh, this tea is perfectly fine. Did Soseki put something in it? It was just like, oh, this will make the tea taste like a lot better. I mean, believe it or not, that would actually explain a lot. If like Soseki-san said like, oh, this isn't poison, this is something that's gonna make the tea taste better. But we haven't heard anything about that yet. It was around 9 o'clock that evening when I visited my neighbor and I took some tea with me as a gift. We had a heated literary debate over a nice hot drink, after which I went back to my room at around 11. Arg, my tea was completely harmless. He couldn't have locked the door behind me otherwise, could he? Strike shine takes some time to have an effect on the body. People don't keel over immediately after taking it. The victim would have been perfectly able to lock the door after his guest left. The argument still stands. I'd imagine he'd be in bed, though, not at the table. Really? Oh my god. So, there should still be traces in the cup. Can't let them beat me down. I won't. Yes, my lord. Now, first of all... Okay, so I do have all my points back. That's something.
Hold it!
Were you and your neighbor good friends then? A simple no would have sufficed. Then, why did you decide to pay him a visit? And on the night in question, that was the topic of the conversation as well, I presume? Heated literary debate over a nice hot drink, after which I went back to my room at around 11. Do we have an autopsy report? Well, I guess it wouldn't be an autopsy report considering he's not dead, but...
Hold it!
A literary debate about Shakespeare's works, I think you said, didn't you? 1 second. Oh, shit, I thought I muted the mic there. You just heard some of my disgusting sinus noises. I apologize for that. I know I'm going to regret asking this, but how did the debate go? Well, we both agreed that we would reach a conclusion more quickly with a reenactment. So we battled it out. In Greco-Roman style, naturally. Wrestling? So a reenactment, you mean you were actually in costume? He has Romeo, I as Juliet, and after a vigorous wild tussle, I as Juliet came out on top, a victory I'll cherish forever. Oh, so this could very well be self-inflicted as a way of getting back at Soseki. Once again, I'm gonna try and mute the mic. Still, that does give a motive for Shamspear to lie, though. Excuse me.
Hold it!
So there was the cups are basically dry, except that's not entirely how it works, because like the only way you could get any kind of cup, I imagine, completely drip free like that is to either take a cloth to it to get literally all of the drink out of the cup. You would have to go at it with your tongue. So no, there would still be a drop left even if it was saliva, but it would still have a trace of it on there. Okay, so he did go back to his room at 11. When tenants return to their rooms and start using gas, the lamps in other parts of the house flicker. So he must have locked the door himself from inside his room. The victim has confirmed that to be the case, yes. If he was harmless, completely harmless. If you take poison, you die. Everyone knows that. Oh, except Shamspear survived. It takes some time to have an effect on the body. People don't keel over immediately after taking it.
Hold it!
According to the coroner I was speaking to at the yard about 30 minutes after the poisons consumed. Then the victim suffers violent convulsions, cramping, and stiffness and eventually dies from asphyxiation. Except for the fact that he apparently licked the cups clean and is still alive. 30 minutes is a long time. I had the medical report from the doctor who examined the victim here, my lord. It spells it out really. The accused is the only person who could have done it. Let's take a look at this. Ingestion of a small quantity of toxic effects present 30 minutes after ingestion. High likelihood of the substance having been mixed with the tea the victim was drinking, but no sample could be obtained for testing. The poisoning incident occurred at around 1:30 a.m. on the 21st of February. Assessed from the victim's pocket watch that appears to have broken when the man collapsed after the delayed onset of symptoms. No container for the poison was found at the scene. Well, I think I found it. I think I know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna save. Because I know this game, and it can be very stupid with this shit sometimes. Round 11. That doesn't add up.
Objection!
Mr. Natsume, you say it was 11 p.m. when you left to return to your room, correct? And Inspector Gregson, can we rely on the information in the medical report unconditionally? So we can. There's no problem with that report. Actually, I think there's a very big problem. Because there's a chronological inconsistency between it and the defendant's testimony. A what? What do you... Contradiction. According to this report, yeah, see, he was apparently poisoned at 1:30, or 1:30 is when it finally took effect at the very least. And, so Saki went back to his room at 11. If it takes 30 minutes for the poison to take effect, then by the time he was poisoned, Sasaki would have already been in his room. Well, then again, I just figured out a way around this. He didn't drink any of the tea until 1:30. It's that simple, but why would he save the tea? I mean, why would he not? Why would he wait so long to drink the tea is what I'm trying to get to. If he was so thirsty that he licked it dry, why did he... Pray forgive the discourtesy if my mind has wandered. I was considering what cuisine would best complement the contents of my hollowed chalice this luncheon. How could it have happened, you ask? I do hate to shatter illusions, but my Nipponese friend appears to be chasing a phantom idea. It is so hard to imagine that the victim drank his tea after the accuser left. Not really, but it is... It does beg the question why he waited so long, though.
Objection!
Mr. Natsume brought the tea with him to drink together with his neighbor. And in Japan, there is a well-known saying. Drink tea while it's hot.
Objection!
In my country, there is an even more apt saying. There's nothing more refreshing than cold tea. Yeah, I do very much prefer iced tea to warm tea. I tried to drink some warm tea a few days ago to help deal with my cough, It was so hard to just drink hot tea. It just didn't taste right.
Objection! Objection!
He still could have done it himself. Yeah, he still could have done it himself because he was salty about losing to Saseki. Sham Spear? He's not at the stand. I figured he would be at the stand. Yeah, no, it's him. Well, I mean, he's not dead, and he regained consciousness yesterday. Some time bowing down to the porcelain throne, and maybe he's fine. 1 second. And he's here. Who is he? Who is this Popeye looking motherfucker? One second. Not fun. Meet him. You know, maybe he was screwing with those, like, bars of soap that we saw in the windowsill. Gerard's house that morning. And he's a gas company employee? What does he have to do with this case? So, Mr. William Shamspeare, you are the victim in this miserable affair, correct? I subpoenaed him for the trial with the doctor's permission, naturally. Being the testimony of the agreed will remove any room for doubt from the juror's mind, I'm sure. Behold, you have only to rearrange the letters of my name to see that me's a serif. The fuck? I guess. Okay, whatever. Thus be I a noble of mind, sweet of nature, and verily honest of heart, as all heavenly angels be. Sorry, that one came up to me by surprise. What? Why is he here, though? The snow lay about, my neighbor did cometh in the evening, bearing a gift of tea. But merry bitter was his drink, and when he left, I did fall prostrate on my table. But the tea alone did pass my lips that late hour, naught else. I was outside this bloke's window in the freezing cold all night, keeping an eye on his room. Why were you doing that? No one else is in his room but that short little round back Eastern fella, except for yourself. Why were you doing that? Why? Yeah, why? What the fuck? His buzzing body hath not part in this play. I pray thee, pay him no heed, make no more ado about his tedious words. What do you say about me? Calm yourself. The court is concerned with what happened on the night in question, nothing more. No, we kind of need to know why he was looking in. He said something about him being on a list of some kind? He's on my list, yeah. What list is that? The snow lay about, my neighbor did cometh in the evening, bearing a gift of tea.
Hold it!
Your referring to the defendant, Mr. Natsume. Oh, indeed, sire. Perchance thou wouldst that I call him the man from upstairs? And at what time did the mustachioed Nipponese visit you in your room? When he was promised for the hour of 9, and lo did he come to tender a gift of fragrant tea. Details which are in accordance with the defendant's own testimony, yes. And we were broiled in such a literary debate as history hath not seen before. By which I presume he means the discussion was about who was stronger, Romeo or Juliet. I, Shansbury, did play the part of young Romeo, whilst my neighbor played the fair Juliet. Each of us dressed as our would-be characters to bring weight upon our merry experiment. I dare not imagine the scene. Frailty, thy name is woman. Oh, that sounds wrong! Canst thou imagine how dismayed I was? Yes, I had heard of the Eastern art of Jiu-Jitsu, but ne'er did I dream 'twould be a skill practiced by the commonly maiden. Commonly maiden, I don't know. Juliet beat Romeo up? This is not helping our case. So he admits that he lost. I believe the court has heard enough about your earth-shattering literary debate. Perhaps you could reiterate your statement about the tea that the accused brought to your room. But Mary, bitter was his drink, and when he left, I did fall prostrate on my table.
Hold it!
Let me stop you there. Mr. Natsume left your room at 11 o'clock, but it wasn't until after 2 that the poison had made you collapse. That amounts to more than 3 hours of missing time. Don't just fucking dance. You want to fucking reply? If the defendant had really put the poison into your tea, that 3-hour window of time is something you're going to have to explain. I did drink of the tea not while my guest did tarry, but after he took leave of me. Faith, 'twas stone cold, but at 1 hour post midnight, verily were my lips parched.
Objection!
That doesn't sound normal. Nay, 'tis quite ordinary, sire, after all. Thou wouldst recall our fiery debate. Amidst such an argument, there'd be no time for fiery tea. Romeo and Juliet again, and who was stronger? Mr. Shanspeare, in summary, allow me to confirm. Did you not come here with the intention of naming your attacker? But of course, my liege. 'Twas the stooped lover of words did attempt to shuffle me of this mortal coil. We all know what that means. The tea alone did pass my lips that late hour, not
Hold it!
So, you didn't have any kind of evening meal? Dinner? Supper? Fire on luxury, fire on gluttony. To eat thrice daily is but a waste of time. Sorry? I would that my belly were full no more oft than the sun doth rise. Well, most heroic eating habits, I must say. Night and day do I fill my, could you stop jumping please, with learned study of the great bard and playwright. Hence it is that there doth not in my chamber be than the normal costumes of mine art. It would appear to be the case as even a rodent was found starved to death in your room. Think of it, it's not just food that was conspicuously missing from that room, is it? I don't recall seeing a single play or script anywhere. For I have devoured them all. I'm sorry? Within my skull, didst thou imagine otherwise? He ate them! He ate his scripts! Which brings us to the conclusion that the only way the poison could have passed the victim's lips is in the tea. So outside the book's window in the freezing cold all night, keeping an eye on his room.
Hold it!
Why? but the windows of that house have all been filled in. A historical artifact of the now defunct window tax. Yeah, you're right there, all bricked up horribly. But as it happens, there's a little part of the brickwork at the bottom of the corner that's been opened up. I was looking in through that gap. Yes, there were a few bricks loose, weren't there? And for some strange reason, a couple of bars of soap lined up on the edge outside as well. I didn't like going around poking my chin in other people's business, especially on freezing cold nights. But them's my orders, so that's what I'll keep doing, as long as there's breath in my body. Any idea why you were given orders to spy on him? What's with all the theatricals today? Out of interest, Mr. Meterman, after the accused had left and returned to his own lodgings, did you see the victim leave the room at all? No, he never left. He was in that room the whole time as far as I'm concerned. Oh, the victim! Hold on. No, he's talking about the accused. He never left the room. Except we know he did. I think I know where it is, actually. Whoa, what the? Where'd it go? Gonna take a look at this again. No, I cannot rotate it. Cannot rotate this, excuse me. Ah yes, lucidly explained, counsel, thank you. No one else visited his room but that short little round back Eastern fellow.
Hold it! Objection!
How many other short little round back Nipponese with a mustache do you think there are in London? Well, of course, it's only a narrow gap and it was quite dark, so I didn't notice the mustache. They showed up at around 9, so I'm pretty sure of myself. When the person you saw arrived, did he and Mr. Shamspeare drink tea together? Nah, sorry. I couldn't say, but you said he didn't leave. Because I couldn't see into the room all that well, could I? But what I did see was a silhouette of that little roundback fella wearing a pretty dress. When the pair of them started some kind of wrestling match, I tell you, I didn't know what to make of it. I suppose that was the Romeo and Juliet championship battle getting underway. Book it, Tony. Mr. Meterman, allow me to confirm one final time. Apart from the accused, can you state with certainty that no one else visited the victim on the night in question? No question. Gasman's honor. Someone has something to say. Oh, shut and listen up to now. Okay, so they're going to declare him guilty.
Guilty!
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
Summation examination. Why do we have to act surprised by this? This trial can't end now. Whatever it takes, I just can't let that happen. Why am I not surprised at my learned Japanese friend's inability to admit defeat? Alright, let us start the summation examination. Judicial findings. The victim may not be well off, but he's a noble man and straight up. There's no reason to doubt the man. Well, I do declare the good gentleman has no reason to lie. In fact, I think he's rather splendid. Just look at the accused by comparison. He's Japanese, stoops all the while, and he has a mustache, very fishy. There's no evidence to suggest the gangling actor is a fraudsman. For now, at least. I really don't care. Like, I just need this trial to end quickly. 3 hours of missing time is nothing when you reach my age, you know? Nothing at all. Looks like I'm gonna have to press some people. Every single one of them seems... shouldn't he be... Okay. It would seem that all the jurors have come to the conclusion that Mr. Shamspear is a fine, upstanding, and honest citizen. If you ask me, they've all been bewitched by his strange theatrical movements. And sadly, nothing Mr. Natsume has said appears to have registered at all. Well, here goes. Let's not forget. I've pleaded with the jury on Suzuki-san's behalf before it... excuse me, and it worked. So, you never were. No. Never know. No need. Although something tells me it's gonna make me listen to her, because then all of a sudden some evidence is gonna become examinable in a way it wasn't before, and then I can fucking proceed. Your statement, finding two that are contradictory, and pitting the corresponding jurors against each other. Further ado, please, counsel, proceed with the summation examination. While there are plenty of people in London who seem noble but poor, couldn't some of them also be liars? I've no doubt about it. Like that shaky client of yours, for example. Absolutely not. Mr. Natsume is no liar. Look, the point is, the only thing that passed the victim's lips that night was the Japanese man's tea. When you take the gas man's testimony into account as well, the truth couldn't be any clearer. But let me be frank here. I'm a gentleman with a gentleman's values. If it turns out that the old Shakespearean chum is a rotten liar after all, I'll gladly change my decision about the defendant. And I'm sure my fellow gentlemen on the jury would do the same, isn't that right? Well, yes, perhaps, though I don't see it happening. Yeah, what's that? Elderly gent on the end here, you know? You'll have to speak up. 1 second. Like, I really don't care about all this nonsense. I just need this trial to be over. Assuming the victim's a liar, I'll reconsider my position. You declare that the good gentleman has no reason to lie. In fact, I think he's a rather splendid.
Hold it!
Are you saying you believe the man to be trustworthy because he's rather splendid? No, that's not what I said. The point is, the man is the victim. What reason would he have to lie? And yes, he is rather splendid. So you say, yet again, meanwhile, the man who stands accused behaves so suspiciously it's exhausting to look at him. I'm afraid he's not splendid at all. Splendid logic there, madam. Thank you so very much. Look at the accused. By comparison, he's Japanese, dudes all the while, and has a mustache, very fishy.
Hold it!
No, no, no. Not one of those things is a reason to find the man guilty. But he is fishy. There's no point dancing around the fact. He's Japanese, he has a mustache, and he stoops. What's wrong with being Japanese again? You see, you arrive at the conclusion in just 3 steps. 3 steps like a waltz, in fact. You know, the more I think about it, the more this trial seems like a dance. You seem to be several steps ahead of yourself, though, and you're on the wrong foot. No, there's nothing but circumstantial evidence here. There's no actual proof of the defendant's guilt. But the victim's version of events is backed up by what the big chin man next to him says, isn't it? 1, he saw the Japanese man there. 2, he saw no one else. And 3, he saw the Japanese man there. So only 2. No, that's only 2. Sir, you repeated the first step. There's no evidence to suggest that the gangling actor is Frozman, at least for now.
Hold it!
A Frozman? What do you mean by that, madam? It really is a most tiresome problem for the company, most irritating. We can be absolutely certain that a customer is stealing from us, but without hard evidence, we can't even threaten to take action for fear of being sued. I'm sorry, you've lost me a little there. Who are you? I'm the wife of Augustus Altamont, owner of the Altamont Gas Company. Gas is the future of energy in this country and around the globe, but proper handling is essential. As I'm sure our employee from the Far East branch and office would be first to agree. Well, I guess that explains why he's there. They suspect that he's the one stealing gas. I think we may have solved the mystery of the bout from earlier, Mr. Naruto. He never to his employer's wife, did he? So would I be right in assuming that the reason Mr. Miederman was watching Mr. Shamspear was up to in his room? I'm afraid that there's no end to the length the population of the East End will go in order to steal our gas. So I really have no choice when the company identifies somebody as a possible fraudster. But to dispatch a worker to watch the suspect day and night, we're very thorough in our investigations. So you mean Mr. Shamspear is... I wouldn't come out and say it in public, but you can finish that sentence with a grubby little gas thief. You have noticed the public gallery in here, have you? The eye of man hath not heard. The ear of man hath not seen. Faith wouldst thou wound me with thy words were I to let them penetrate the skin. But Sarah's hear not insult, only choirs of angels and song. We may not have evidence yet, but my workers won't stop buzzing around you until they find it. And when they do, you'll find yourself blasted back to your angelic heights in an ultimate gas explosion. Shamspear has been stealing gas. I wonder, juror number 4, if you wouldn't mind adding that information to your testimony. About ripping the thief apart, you would? A little before the part about your abject violence, if it's not too much trouble. A fine performance, but in reality is a common thief of my company's gas. Let's see here. I'm gonna save again.
Objection!
Those two statements clearly contradict each other. Juror number 1. I presume you've heard juror number 4's statement made by the wife of the owner of Altamont Gas. The victim, who you claim to be noble, straight-up man, in fact turns out to be a common thief. So the good lady says, but there's no evidence, is there? You and I both heard them say as much. It's true, we don't have evidence as such, just yet. But the claims aren't baseless, you know. You heard me. Seeing as his operation has already been compromised, I would suggest that the court hears testimony from our East End branch office employee over there. Okay, whatever you say, my lady. Gasman's honor. Juror number 1, you say you're a man of your word. If I could show that Mr. Shansphere was a liar, you assured me that you would reconsider your decision about the defendant's guilt. Yes, I did say that. As a man of honor, I'll hold to it, as I'm sure the other gentlemen of the jury will. Me? Oh, well, yes. Now that we've found out the man's a liar, perhaps we ought to consider the matter further. Well, if I'm perfectly honest, I haven't heard half of what you've all been saying, so this means you'll recap a few points that would suit me down to the ground. Oh no, I'm not having any part of this. I want this trial over and done with. In that case, I shall change my leaning. So, Mr. William Shansphere, if that is your real name, we of the jury demand to know exactly what kind of a man you really are. That's 4 jurors. 4 for not guilty. So we've successfully pulled out a summation examination, and now the trial can continue. Therefore, I declare this court to be in a state of discord, and order the trial to continue. You have spoilt the bouquet, Mr. Shansphere. The ladies and gentlemen of the jury now find they are unable to trust you, the victim. Oh, I see what he's doing. But you gods will give us some faults to make us men. So God mend me, I do swear. This gasman speaketh that which concerns him most, naught but gas, naught but thin air. Aye, it burneth a bright a while, but it hath no substance, and doth reek foul. Oi, what did you say? Do I take it, Mr. Shansphere, that you deny the allegations of gas thievery? Most heartily, my lord. Hast thou forgot? I am as a seraph, an angel. Noble of mind, sweet of nature, and verily, honest of heart. Ah, you flowery-mouthed pompous beanpole, just because I haven't got the evidence yet. Mr. Shansphere, if in fact you are not noble of mind, sweet of nature, or honest of heart, if you are a liar, then your testimony should have no sway in this courtroom. It is my considered opinion that at the present time no other possible culprit of this crime has been identified. All testimony heard by the court thus far heavily implicates the defendant. In short, it would not be unreasonable at this stage for me to rule on the case. Uh-oh. However, in light of the fact that the jury has expressed concern about the fidelity of this witness, I believe it would be inappropriate for this court not to pursue the point further.
Objection!
I assure you, my lord, that that would be a waste of the court's time. The gas in this case are unrelated. Juror number 4. Yes? Didn't you say before that although you had no hard evidence to prove this man has been stealing gas, you have strong grounds for suspecting him? That's right, we do. Don't we, worker? Absolutely, Lady Quinby. Gasman's honor. Very well then, we will hear your testimony now. You will tell the court precisely why you believe the victim, Mr. William Shansphere, has been stealing gas. Yes, my lord. It'll be my pleasure. On the Altamont gas name, if I may, my lord. Go ahead, madame. This worker's testimony may have a significant bearing on the good name of my husband's company. Therefore, I should like to take the stand alongside him in a supervisory role, if you wouldn't mind. Oh yeah, sweet as honey, yeah. Very well. As an exception, I shall honor your request. Thank you, my lord. You wait till the boss gives you an earful. Oh, it's gonna sting. You mark my words. So, you will both testify before the court on the subject of the illegal consumption of the Altamont Gas Company's fuel. Yes. Is that clear, my good man? Clear as Altamont Gas, my lady. Which is the clearest in the world. Do you think the gas has gone to his head, Mr. Sato? I think the man is just a very dedicated employee, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm proud to be the company's East End branch investigator and meter money collection agent. Altamont gas meters accept through penny bits, each coin giving customers about 2 hours of gorgeous gas. And yet, the meter in Mr. Shanspeare's room didn't have a single coin in it. The meter doesn't appear to have been tampered with, though, and the collection agent only has the only key. Somehow he's using all the flaming gas he wants without paying a penny. If that's not thieving, what is? 1 second. Oh, that didn't work one bit. I'm gonna have to wait a little bit. Pray forgive the discourtesy. The irrelevance of the testimony caused me to turn to my alcoholic chalice. The mustachio Nipponese poisoned the gangling excuse for an actor, or didn't he? That is all that should be that should concern this court is what I meant to say. And yet now he must listen to this abhorrence. Clearly what separates the vast British Empire and your Eastern Island nation is more than geographical distance. But this could turn out to be crucial testimony. The cross-examination must go ahead. Do what you will. Lord Van Zieks appears to be in a violent mood. Yes, he does. An attempted poisoning and an incident of gas theft with no supporting evidence. It's true that they would appear completely unrelated at first glance, but I wonder. The truth tends to be buried in the most unusual places, and the first step in uncovering it will be to establish just who and what this man really is. So does that mean you enter people's houses in order to empty their gas meters? That I do. Have to try to catch people when they're in. Then I ask permission to come inside and do my business. Does that mean you've been into Mr. Natsume's room before, as well as that of Mr. Shanspeare? Well now, interesting you should bring that up, because I couldn't believe how little money was in his meter. I mean, how the pair of them survived the winter is beyond me, it really is. Knowing Mr. Natsume, he probably spends all his gas money on books. And then when he's finished reading them, he probably burns them for warmth. You'll kindly reiterate your statement about the gas meters themselves, Mr. Meterman. Not much to say, really, but as you wish. Altamont gas meters accept through pennies, through penny bits, each coin giving customers about 2 hours of gorgeous gas.
Hold it!
So all London houses have that have a gas supply are fitted with these gas meters, are they? They're the latest model of the height of technology developed by our company, Altamont Gas. And anyone who uses our gas will have, will have one of these meters in their property. Yes. So if a 3 pence coin gives 2 hours of gas, most people would use about 3 coins in a night. A bit more than that usually if they have both gas lights and a gas stove, that is. Thinking about it, Sasaki-san doesn't have a fireplace in that room of his, does he? Some people still choose to use candles, of course, and only have gas for heating. Yes, I do remember seeing candles in Mr. Natsume's room, actually. And how does the money in the meter get back to you at the gas company? Every 3 days, gasmen like me, visit properties on the gas supply and empty the meters of coins. I must say, the design and manufacture of the new meter cost the company an awful lot of money. But happily, it did put a stop to people not paying their dues for the most part. Because they have to pay in advance, you mean? Yes, exactly right. And yet the meter in Mr. Shanspeare's room didn't have a single coin in it.
Hold it!
Out of interest, how long has this been going on? Weeks and weeks. He's been pinching gas off us for ages. And you've examined the meter in Mr. Shanspeare's room, I take it? Naturally, we took it off the wall and went over it with a fine-tooth comb. And found nothing suspicious at all, I presume. No, I'm afraid we didn't. Which is exactly why I demanded a new type of meter to be produced. One with an indestructible lock, the Shanspeare Special. That sounds like it would have cost an awful lot of 3-penny pieces. But even after all that, the rascal's meter was still empty. I'll never forget the humiliation. When I opened up the money box and found it bare. You what? I said? You what? And the look on his face, that smarmy smile of his. I pulled the meter straight off the wall and took it back to the office. But you know what? Nothing. Not a trace of it being jimmied open anywhere. Not a single sign. And what's happening to my salary as a result? Down by 3 shillings a day, that's what. A life-threatening situation in a number of ways. Incidentally, what became of that meter? Nothing became of it. I've still got it. Oh? Right here. No wonder they call you meterman. I think it would be prudent for the court to sequester this item while the trial is ongoing. So it's been entered into the court record. Let's take a look at it. What is this? It's a very sturdy looking padlock, isn't it? So Mr. Sholmes are going to immediately. Mrs. of what kind is not than Mr. Sholmes. You know you didn't finish that sentence, don't you? Well, anyway, it's understandable that the gas company would want to safeguard the money that's rightfully theirs. But it does feel a little over the top, perhaps, doesn't it? I'm more interested about this green thing here. What is this green chip behind the lock? Oh, and what's this? Oh, what's... Just here, there's a little hole. Do you see? It's not a very neat hole, is it? Not professionally made, I'd say. So you think it might have been opened up by Mr. Shanspeare? Possibly. It seems the people at Ultima Gas have missed it. It seems to go all the way through the inside. Yes, but there's no way a coin could fit through there. Sure, but even so, it's even more than a little suspicious. Let's see if there's anything else. Doesn't really look like it. Although at first glance, there doesn't appear to be anything unusual about it, except for the green thing behind the lock, which just so happens to be the same color as the soap, but whatever. We'll just pretend that's not an issue. So I'm going to save here. And I am going to present the gas meter.
Objection!
Lady Altamont, I'm afraid to say that this meter clearly does show signs of having been tampered with. What? Get away! I've been over and over that thing! I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with it! In that case, what do you have to say about the small hole that's been made at the base of the coin box? Hole? What? You're right! You're quite right! There's a little hole there! The meters aren't supposed to have that. None of the others do. In other words, we can assume that Mr. Shamspear secretly opened up this hole himself. Yes, I wouldn't be at all surprised, but why? Yeah, why? I mean, it's tiny. You couldn't get a farther through that. Lady Altamont, I wonder if you could give the court some more details about your meter design. What sort of details? Well, what I'd specifically like to know is how it's dismantled, how it differentiates coins. Let's try that. How does the meter tell the difference between different coins? What do you mean? Well, for example, if someone were to put in 1 penny coin, that wouldn't work, presumably, would it? No, of course not. So, well, how does the meter know that the coin it's been fed is a through penny bit? Ah, I see what you're getting at now. Excuse me. The meter tells coins apart by their shape and size, which includes their thickness. A through penny bit is about 3/4 of an inch in diameter, you see. Other coins just won't fit. Ah, I see. It's clearly been very well thought out. The witness will amend her formal testimony with that information in case it's pertinent. As you wish, my lord. I don't think it is pertinent, actually. Designed for coins with exactly a through penny bit, nothing else will fit.
Hold it!
Coin exactly in terms of diameter and thickness could equally be used. Well, would that be true? Well, yes, in a way. The weight comes into it to a certain extent as well. We thought of that though. Anyway. If I find any fake coin inside the coin box when I empty that meter, the contract says the customer has to pay 100 times the amount they diddled as a fine. We live for moments like that, us gasmen do. Live for them. Ha ha ha. It would seem the gas company has thought of everything. Cash Altamont all the way. That's quite enough of that. Remind me, how big are through penny bits? About 3/4 of an inch across. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Is that 2 centimeters measurement significant? Or perhaps there is some other aspect of the meter's construction we should be focusing on. Actually, you know what? Let's leave it. I want to try something, actually. Ah! I'm very sorry. I'm gonna save again, because I think I have an idea. I think it's the soap thing.
Objection!
Nope. Okay, let's go over this one more time and ask about something else entirely. How can the meter be dismantled? Dismantled? Yes, given that there are no signs of it having been forced. I'm wondering if perhaps rather than being broken open, it might have been taken apart. Well, yes, that does make some sense. The padlocks are made by a first-class locksmith from the finest quality steel. And the meter box itself is made from plate steel as well, welded shut to ensure it can't be opened again. Welded shut! I can assure you it's quite impossible to dismantle it. I see. Formal testimony with that information keeps it permanent. When the meter welded shut.
Hold it!
Has anyone ever tried? Oh yeah, they've tried, but they've all given up before long. After all, if they actually broke the meter, the company would be able to take legal action. Yes, that makes sense. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Is well construction significant? Or perhaps there's some other aspects of the meter construction that we should be focusing on? Yes, you may be right. Perhaps I should try a different tack to it. Asking about how the mirror differentiates coins, for example. Wait! Really, game? Again with this? And just when I thought you were doing better. Let me try this now.
Objection!
Oh my god! I examined it, That's the second time I examined that exact spot and got that exact same dialogue. And only now does the game update the fucking item in the court record. Oh! I have to do things exactly the way the game wants me to do them, or else, no, you're fucking wrong. Oh no, it's not even, I didn't. Oh yeah, you know that piece of evidence you examined and found out something new about? Yeah, you examined it earlier than you were supposed to, so that doesn't count. Penalty. For the love of God, that's fucking stupid. Once again, it's not my logic that's flawed. I'm just not presenting it the way the game wanted to. Actually, no, I did present it the way the game wanted to. It's just I did it too early. Fuck off. Something the same size as a 3-penny bit? What was it? The item in question is this. What? What have you been in hands, Gas? That's a bar of soap. It certainly looks nothing like a 3-penny bit, I must say. It looks like I'm going to have to point out exactly what I mean here. What's so important about the bar of soap is this part here. So what he's been doing is he's been filling these bars of soap up with water, leaving them outside to freeze, and then just taking them out of the soap mold that he made and putting them in there, and they don't know it because it just kind of melts in there. And then he put that little hole in the bottom so the water would just drain out.
Got it!
You'll have to turn over the soap to see what I mean. Ah! Are you referring to that round depression in the middle of the soap there? That's right, a depression that's approximately 3/4 of an inch in diameter. In other words, almost exactly the same size as a 3-penny bit. Get away! Does anyone here present have in their possession a 3-penny bit? Quickly now, hand over your coins, ladies and gentlemen. It sounds rather like highway robbery, doesn't it? Thanks to a kind member of the public in the gallery, I have a 3-penny bit. Now to see if it fits. My word! It couldn't be more snug! Yes, as I suspected. This, without a doubt, is a vital clue to explain how the Altamont Gas Company is being defrauded. Well, I don't believe it! So, your assertion amounts to what? Some inferior bar of soap has a tentative connection to the theft of gas? Yes. The depression in the soap was clearly made by a 3-penny bit. I must concur, at least, that pushing a coin with some force into a poor quality bar of soap, such as this, is a remarkably simple way of replicating the coin's shape. And then you could use, well, some melted wax or something to pour into the mold. You can make fake coins in no time! This brings all the pieces of the puzzle together. It's the method Mr. Shanspere has been using to steal the gas. That's the missing link. And now, if I follow the chain of thought, it's going to bring me to a new explanation for what happened that nobody's considered yet. But this is all nonsense! If the man has been making fake coins, my workers here would have found them when he emptied the meter. Quite true, Lady Altamont. In the absence of some black magic that could make them disappear, He fills them with water. I see. That's what we're dealing with, is it? There is one form of black magic that could cause the fake coins to disappear into thin air, yes. Exactly. And the meter here gives it all away. What on earth? There are remnants of the magical method used visible on the gas meter taken from the victim's room. Hold on. I want to pause. Okay, so I have two possibilities here. Either it's the hole on the bottom, or it's that green thing. We found this bar of soap at the scene of the crime, just outside the victim's window. Outside? Yes, outside, where you yourself, Mr. Meterman, were loitering in the freezing winter air. That's where we found this soap. Ah, I get it! That's right. The answer, of course, is ice. Did you say ice? Mr. Shamsphere has been leaving soaps like this outside his window each evening filled with water. After a night outside in the bitter cold, the water is completely frozen solid the next morning. Then he takes his fake coins of ice and feeds them into the gas meter, giving him light and warmth in spades. As his room becomes very comfortably warm, the ice now inside the meter's coin box melts, turning back into water, and draining harmlessly away through the small hole made in the underside of the meter. That is how, without leaving any evidence of his wrongdoing, this man has been stealing Altamont gas. Just like that. So simply. Is he trying to make us look like idiots? He's been fooling us all with some bars of soap and some water? That's right, madame. I don't believe it. It can't be true. Do you have any idea how much money we spent to develop that new meter? And now you have the audacity to suggest that a bit of soap and some water can render it totally useless? I'm fairly sure I didn't design it. Evidence! Sorry? I want evidence! If you're going to stand there and tell me our meters are rubbish, I want to see proof. She's very good at enforcing accountability, isn't she? I do have an idea. Very well, Lady Altamont. If you'd like evidence, I'll provide it. What? Mr. Naruhodo, are you saying? I gotta cough some more. I did notice a trace of something that bothered me a little at the time. And I have a feeling that this theory we've come up with now can explain it. A piece of evidence that substantiates the theory about how Shamsphere has been stealing gas is right here.
Take that!
This is a photograph of the scene at the point when the victim was discovered, taken by Inspector Gregson. And it clearly shows the remnants of the crime carried out by Mr. Shamsphere. What remnants? Here you can see the gas meter on the wall in Mr. Shamsphere's room. Now look closely at the floorboards directly underneath the meter. What? What is that? Some kind of grubby stain? Almost certainly, it's a water stain resulting from the liquid that drained out of the hole made in the meter. Ah! If one coin gives around 2 hours of gas usage, and the occupant was heating his room in all his waking hours, we can imagine he would have used around 10 of his fake coins each day. The melting ice inside the meter's coin box would have been dripping out almost constantly, leaving a stain on the floor. This is awful! And there's further evidence too. The Shamsphere is slumped over his table, apparently, having consumed and right there next to him is a bar of soap, broken in half. You're right. It would appear to me then, Counsel, that the man was eating the soap, was he? Pardon me for disagreeing with your lordship, but certainly not. He didn't beat about the bush there, did he? In truth, Mr. Shansphere was found with a fork in his hand. A meal of soap is sounding increasingly likely, Lord Van Zieks. Do you mean to say he was using that fork to... Yes. Extract the frozen coin from the bar of soap. Ah! But the bar broke in half. So perhaps it didn't go very well. Good gracious! Lord Van Zieks? I was throwing my hand up in despair, and happened to catch my hallowed bottle on the way. Pray forgive my maladroit mistake. What is the meaning of this, Counsel? Allow me to pose my learned friend a question. What exactly did you establish with your most recent cross-examination? Well, that Mr. William Shansphere is a liar and a thief. In other words, that his testimony is unreliable. That's it! That's exactly it! Very well, let us assume the man is a liar. Now, allow me to pose another question. What possible difference does that make? Well? Excuse me. We know that suicide can be discounted. Scotland Yard's investigation revealed no sign of another vessel that contained poison. And on the night in question, there were no visitors to the room except the accused. The young gasman's testimony, which we have no reason to doubt, has confirmed that. Furthermore, the only possible way the poison could have entered the victim's body is via the tea. The court has seen no evidence whatsoever that suggests otherwise. I'm very sorry. Even if William Shansphere is the liar you claim him to be, these facts have been objectively established. There's no escaping it. Therefore, in light of these facts, the prosecution calls for immediate adjudication. I'm not screaming. Have you heard me coughing? Well, counsel, how does the defense respond? Mr. Naruhodo. What was the point of that last cross-examination? Did it actually get us anywhere? Or did it make no difference at all, like Lord Van Zieks is saying? Raise an objection. No, this isn't over. The defense will not rest. What? But counsel, you've successfully explained everything. You've identified and substantiated the unscrupulous method employed by Mr. Shansphere to consume gas. What more is there to discuss? Lord Van Zieks just highlighted 3 facts in order to make his point. But contrary to what he would have the court believe, not all of them have been objectively established at all. What are you trying to say, my Nipponese friend? At least one of those so-called facts is an assumption made due to a lack of evidence. But the situation has changed now, following the cross-examination of the last witnesses to take the stand. Don't be absurd. What is this nonsense? Yes, when you bring everything we've learned so far together and consider it as a whole, it's clear. There's a question that we need to consider, namely... I can't... Oh, no, I can still save. Was someone else responsible? Was there another visitor? Was the poison in the tea? We've all been led to believe that the Strychnine poison that afflicted Mr. Shansphere was in the tea brought to him by Mr. Natsume. But that's conjecture at best.
Objection!
The victim has testified that nothing else passed his lips that night. There is no other possibility. And since there was no trace of the tea left at the scene, it couldn't be tested for traces of poison.
Objection!
As I said, the situation has changed. Because, in fact, some of Mr. Natsume's tea was left at the scene. And a particular piece of evidence proves it.
Objection!
Really? A ludicrous claim. Scotland Yard detectives investigated the scene exhaustively. What evidence are you suggesting they missed? The defendants made a bold claim indeed. Very well, counsel. Present your proof. What evidence from the scene of the crime can tell us about the nature of the defendant's tea? Same again. Maybe this stain here?
Take that!
Op-ed. Is it this picture again?
Take that!
I guess not. I'll be honest here. I don't have a line of reasoning. See if I tell us about the nature of the defendant's tea. It's not the photo. Is it the bar of soap?
Take that!
Oh, that got a reaction, so apparently... The soap again? The same bar the victim used to fashion his coins of ice? Yes, that's right, my lord. It's just come back to me. Something about when we first found this bar of soap at the scene yesterday. Yeah, we found it with like a red disc. So... Did he pour some of the tea into the thing instead of using water for some reason? I mean, I guess there's no reason why that couldn't work, but... You say you discovered the gas thief's coin factory? Fascinating. In a way, yes, but there's more. The coins were found in the soap at the time weren't normal ice. Yeah, they were red. Oh, no, wait, he didn't use the tea. Must have been something else. Exactly. Something very obviously strange. They were red. The ice was red? No, you mean... That's right. It's obvious to me now. The fake coins in the soap were made from frozen tea. Oh, no, wait. It was frozen tea. 1 second. I need to take care of something real fast. I would remind the court of a statement made by Mr. Natsume earlier in this trial. That evening, yes, I didn't over to the tune. It was a gift. That night, so I will take it. As a result, never will I touch it again. Never. Ah, yes, I believe there had been snowfall that day. It was particularly cold. Sadly, on such occasions, the poorly constructed water mains in the East End are prone to freezing. So on the night in question, Mr. Shakespeare, having no running water to use, was forced to use the tea brought by Mr. Natsume in order to make his fake coins. There were 2 bars of soap on the window ledge when my judicial assistant and I investigated the scene. That's right, and we only borrowed 1 of them. Which means that even as we speak, some of the defendant's tea is still present at the scene of the crime, frozen solid in a bar of soap outside Mr. Shanspeare's window. Earlier today, Inspector Gregson informed the court that if even 1 drop of tea remained, Scotland Yard would be able to analyze it for poison. As such, we are now in a position to prove or disprove what has until now been mere conjecture. By finding out for sure whether or not Mr. Natsume's tea actually contained at all. You smug Nipponese! My lord, we cannot do the defendant the injustice of passing judgment now. The police should be dispatched to recover the remaining bar of soap from the scene at once, and the defense requests a thorough analysis of the frozen tea embedded in it, to determine whether or not it contains any poison. Hi, Neil. Bailiff! Bailiff! Instruct the police to attend the scene at once. It would seem we have no choice but to suspend these proceedings for the time being. I trust you have no objection, Lord Van Zieks? None, my lord. Scotland Yard will recover the tea from the scene and carry out the requisite tests immediately. The trial will resume at the same hour tomorrow. Oh no, we actually have another investigation thing. The prosecution and defense may conduct further investigations as appropriate in the interim. We actually have a second day of investigation. This is the first for the Greatest Attorney series. Well, the Greatest Attorney spin-off series. Well, we managed to scrape through there somehow. Thank you, counsels. Court is adjourned until tomorrow. To be continued! Alright. That did a number on me. Alright. So, I might still do Mass Effect, this Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mass Effect 3 Legendary Edition, we are almost done. I see only like 3 or 4 streams left before we finish it. It's been a while, so I don't remember where we've been exactly. Excuse me. But assuming I recover, we will be playing Great Ace Attorney 2 again next week at 7 p.m. Tuesday.